So, let's talk about that coffee you drink every single morning. Most of us just grab a cup and go, but have you ever thought about the journey it takes? Turns out there are two wildly different paths it can follow. And today, we're going to break down that story of two coffees, the industrial giant versus the local artisan.
On one side, you've got this massive, global, corporate coffee machine. It's all about speed, efficiency, and making every single cup taste exactly the same, no matter where you are in the world. And on the other side, you have the small batch, artisan approach, which is totally focused on craft and quality. This isn't just about different brands, we're talking about two completely different philosophies.
So, this really isn't just about what tastes better. It's about two totally competing mindsets that control everything from the farm to your cup. Let's start with the big guys, right? On one side of this crossroads, you have the corporate giant. And to put that into perspective, Starbucks has a massive, massive global footprint. We're talking over 36,000 locations. And that number, it all comes down to one thing: building an empire on consistency. And that empire? Well, it brings in huge money, over $32 billion a year. A scale like that is built on a model that absolutely has to prioritize convenience and predictability, because they're serving hundreds of millions of people every week.
And then you've got the complete opposite. You've got these small batch roasters. Take this veteran-owned company, for example, Beach Bros Coffee. Their entire philosophy is the reverse: quality first, period. For them, every single decision is all about making the coffee better, not just making more of it. It's a world of craft versus manufacturing.
Okay, so here's something really important to get. Great coffee isn't made in the cafe, no. It all starts way, way back at the very beginning, with the bean itself. And this is where those two paths just completely split. So, the big guys, they usually buy coffee as a commodity. What does that mean? Well, it means beans from tons of different farms all get mixed together. Now, how do you get a consistent taste out of that? You tend to over-roast it, a really dark roast that basically masks any inconsistencies or flaws in the beans. But look at the alternative. When a company like Beach Bros actually owns its own farm in Colombia, they control everything. I mean everything, from the high altitude where the beans are grown to literally hand-picking only the perfectly ripe cherries. That kind of control at the source is just something the commodity model can't even touch. All right, so you've got the beans. What's next? The roast. And you guessed it, we're looking at two completely different goals here too.
This really just lays it all out, doesn't it? The corporate way is like an industrial assembly line. They use dark roasts to make millions of pounds of coffee taste exactly the same. But the artisan approach, that's more like a craft studio, you know? They use these careful, small batch roasts to bring out all the unique, amazing flavors that are already inside a really high-quality bean.
And this quote really just nails the core problem, right? Scale is the enemy of quality. It's basically saying that the very thing that makes corporate coffee so huge and successful is the same thing that stops it from ever being truly special.
Okay, so let's say you have the best beans and the perfect roast. There is still one more thing, one secret weapon that can make or break the whole experience. And honestly, it's something most of us never even think about: time.
You know, we tend to think of coffee as something you can just leave in the cupboard, right? But it's not. Roasted coffee is a fresh product. It has this incredibly short window, just a couple of weeks after roasting, where the flavor is at its absolute peak. After a month, all those amazing, subtle notes, they're just gone. And this is where you see the huge difference in the supply chains. Because of this massive, centralized system of roasting and shipping, the coffee you get at a big chain could easily be 30, 60, even 90 days old by the time you drink it. But a local roaster, someone who roasts every single week, they can get you coffee right in that perfect sweet spot, that 3 to 14-day window, when it tastes incredible.
In this whole mindset, this philosophy, it doesn't just stop with the coffee in the cup. Nope. It bleeds into the entire experience. And you see that same battle between industrial efficiency and real, authentic quality. Just look at the food, right? On one side, you've got mass-produced pastries that were probably frozen and then reheated. They're designed to last forever on a truck. On the other side, you might find something like authentic pastries flown in directly from Italy. It's the same choice all over again: a standardized industrial product versus a genuine experience. And it's also about the values behind the business. The artisan way is often super personal, deeply connected to the community. Using Beach Bros again, it's a veteran-owned business, roasting their coffee in a historic local landmark.
That's a world away from a global franchise model that's designed to be exactly the same no matter where you are in the world.
So when you actually break it all down, the real value becomes super clear. You're not just comparing the price of a coffee. You're comparing two totally different things on every level, from the bean itself to how fresh it is, all the way to the impact it has on the local community.
So at the end of the day, it all comes back to you, right? To the choice you make every morning. What are you really buying with that few bucks for your coffee?
So here's the bottom line. You're not choosing between two coffee brands. You're choosing between two totally different products. One is built for pure convenience. The other is built to deliver an experience of quality, freshness, and community.
There's a simple idea that kind of sums this all up perfectly. Life's too short to drink mediocre coffee. It's really a reminder to think about more than just the caffeine hit, to think about the quality of something you do every single day.
And that leaves us with the final question. For you, it's not about which one is better because, they serve different purposes. The real question is, for your next cup, what do you value more? The easy predictability of convenience or the unique experience of real quality?